Hey guys, Apav here. See my face? Hey, I hit the camera once again. This is going to be a running theme of these videos. And my voice cracked. That will be another running theme. Anyways, this is the Kindle... It's no longer called the Kindle Fire. It's like the Amazon Fire. But you can get these now for 40 bucks, which is amazing. When I got this, they were selling for 50 bucks, but I got on like a deal for 35 bucks, and I got my grandma one for Christmas for 33 bucks, and now, again, you can get them for 40 bucks, and they have a bunch of different colors. This is obviously the black one. They say they're 8 gigabytes, they're around like 5, I think. We showed that off in the video I did of it, but this is something completely different. Now, something about the Kindle Fire, I'm going to call it the Kindle Fire because that's what the name was a long time ago. Something about these is that they're not as open as Android devices, and they're not as established with like iTunes and all of that as Apple products, obviously. They're sort of their own proprietary thing, but they're really good quality, and now they're a really good price. And one great thing about these things is that so far Amazon hasn't really upset me too much as a company. They do a lot of stuff on their like physical store, but they are really good with adapting to the modern, I can't think of the word, modern marketing or whatever. I'm trying to show something off, and I haven't played with these things as much to figure out how to use them. Hang on. So I'm not sure if I gotta show this off in the last video, but Amazon has this thing called the Amazon Underground, which you can see right up here. Now, the Amazon Underground is basically Amazon pays developers by the amount of time someone has spent playing their app, and in return the developers make their apps free. So basically, Amazon is paying for your game, and I tried forever to figure out, like, it says actually free. That can't actually be free. Every time someone says actually free, there's strings attached like shipping or something. Obviously shipping wouldn't be involved in this, but you get my point. Well, they are actually free. According to people who are talking about this, they're making games free to make people come back to the App Store and, possibly buy a game. So all these games that are normally pay-to-play games are free on the Amazon App Store. And that's really cool that you can get a tablet basically for $40 that runs really smoothly. It's a lot smoother than that ProntoTech tablet that I got, and I can actually go through things in the App Store without the App Store lagging behind. Again, the ProntoTech tablet does that. So I started playing some of the PlayStation Underground games. One of the first ones I installed was DuckTales, and it apparently previously was being sold for $10 on the Amazon App Store. Then it was made free by Amazon Underground, and I've been playing a bit of that. The one problem with playing on a tablet like this, though, is that there's no buttons. You are stuck with touchscreen controls. Again, why you got Cut the Rope there. Again, actually free, the full game. I still find that cool. But when you don't have buttons, there's always just... That's a big problem with tablets and stuff, is when you don't have buttons, it just doesn't feel like a game. That's why I wish a lot of, like, old Gameloft games, like the Modern Combat or whatever they used to make, I wish those games were put on the PlayStation Vita, because that's where they really could have shined. But here's something interesting. Now, I looked up that PlayStation apparently released the software or something for the PS3 controller like 3 years ago or something. So if you plug a PS3 controller into an Android tablet, you can automatically control the Android tablet with the controller. Now, obviously, since this is Amazon, I read online that you cannot control Amazon tablets. There's no third-party controllers for Amazon stuff because Amazon is very locked down. Well, I have this little adapter here, which actually came with my Android tablet. I finally figured out what this is for. If you plug a PlayStation 3 controller basically into an Android tablet, you usually control it, and you can actually do the same thing with these Amazon tablets if I turn the controller on. I had to unplug the PS3 so the controller doesn't automatically connect to it, but as you can see, I'm controlling it with the controller. Yay. So, that's cool and all, but it doesn't work with like DuckTales because those games weren't made for the controller, and unlike Android, again, there's like no really good controller software or any way of figuring out how to control apps with a controller. However, I looked up a list of iOS games that can use a controller, and Sonic CD was one of them, and Sonic CD is free on the Amazon App Store. Now, I tested this out on here because I was like, why would a tablet that actually has no controllers made for it have a Sonic CD version which can use a controller? Because again, the iOS version was the one that said it could use a controller. Well, obviously, since I'm showing you this, you can actually play Sonic CD on these Amazon tablets with a controller. If you look there, I am moving the menu around. So what it seems like I have to do is I basically look up the iOS games that you can control with a controller, and then the Amazon version of it is going to be almost exactly the same as the iOS version of it, and it should work with the PS3 controller. I didn't have to set up the buttons or anything, like X is jump, the analog stick moves, and the D-pad also works with it. It's just, oh, and the start button pauses. So yes, all the controls are pretty much the same. And Sonic CD is somewhat of a lost original Sonic game. The design isn't amazing. That's one of the reasons actually I don't like old Sonic games, but this design is even harder than some of the old Sonic games, as you can tell by these stupid spikes here that I keep jumping into. The problem with a lot of old Sonic games is that I always felt like you were going too fast to react to stuff that was right in front of you, and after playing Sonic 3 isn't too bad with that, but oh my gosh, this one is. Like, you'll just be running along and just run into something. But after I looked into Sonic a little bit more, and people who grew up with Sonic, most people who grew up with Sonic will like usually agree that the game was more built off of the momentum than the speed. The speed was a reward. It was never like go fast through the whole entire game, because if you went too fast, you'll fall off something. The main selling point of Sonic is that it could technically go fast. It was never that the whole game was going fast, as in right now as I'm trying to figure out how to get up this place. Oh, and by the way, when I'm on these, I keep jumping down there. Why do I keep killing myself? I might die here. I only have 1 health left. When I jump on those, I have to press circle for some reason. I think circle might be like the attack button and jump is the jump button, but obviously the jump and attack are the same. And in this video, I also wanted to talk a bit about Sonic, because I noticed some people in the world, you know, they're all saying that, why do young people still like Sonic? There's not a good Sonic game that has been made in their lifetime. And I'm like, you know what? That's really true. And then I thought, why do I even care that much about Sonic? I think the reason behind that is we got all the good Sonic cartoons. That's probably it. Like, Sonic Boom got the cartoon, and I grew up with Sonic X and thought that was really cool. And that's probably why the new Sonic games also suck. The new Sonic games, they weren't made to be games, they were made to be TV adaptations. It's kind of like when you get a movie-based game, it almost always sucks. Well, that's what the new Sonic games are. They're just games that were made because they wanted to sell the TV show a bit more. That's what I think anyways. Sonic became a game that turned into a TV show, and now they're trying to make the TV show popular by making games on a deadline, and that deadline is pushed really quickly, and that's why the new games always suck. That could be why. I mean, that's just my only understanding of it, because obviously all the like older millennials, they grew up on these 2D Sonic games, and I didn't grow up on these. I didn't even grow up on the 3D Sonic games. I finally made it up here too. Maybe we'll go fight Robotnik. Oh no, we gotta hit this thing. But yeah, I didn't really grow. The only thing about Sonic that I saw was the old ones, and then Sonic X. And when people say, why do young people still care about Sonic? I think it's because I think it's because of the TV shows, and that they know he's a video game character. It's just that the new video games are all horrible. But his legacy lives on in the TV shows? Maybe? It's just my hunch. It's my only explanation for it, because I don't know why there are still so many Sonic fans when a lot of the new games aren't really that good. To be honest, Sonic 06 should have killed the series. Like, I don't think there's that many games that could have gotten away with what Sonic Team did. Oh, I wasn't hearing the music, so I didn't know how far away I was from drowning. Dang it. Well, actually, there might be a checkpoint system in this, because Sonic 3 had save files. This might not. I might have to start all over again. This was like halfway through the game, I think. I wasn't collecting any of the emeralds or whatever they're called. Yeah, I have to start all over. Now, I haven't tried time attack. Maybe that's just normal levels, only with a time on them. Yeah, it looks kind of like that. We'll try that. I'm going to zoom out a bit so you guys can see the controller. Does that mean you can do co-op? I don't know. Oh, by the way, this automatically switches to the controller when you plug it in. I don't know how to start this. Do I just press start? What do I do? Or co is start, maybe. Okay, whatever. Yeah, so when you plug in the controller, it automatically detects the controller and takes the tablet's HUD off. So like where the fake buttons would be on the tablet, it actually senses that there's a controller in here and removes the buttons on the tablet. I tried playing this game without a controller. Oh my god. It is really hard without a controller. Like the fake D-pad that's on here, there's like no way of playing any good game with the D-pad that was on here. It wasn't like drag the slide left or right. It was more of just a D-pad but completely digital, so you have no idea where you're pressing the buttons. So yeah, I would definitely recommend plugging your PS3 controller in here. There's two ways of doing it. You can use like a USB extender or like an adapter that's to USB, or you could have the thing that I have, which is micro USB to female USB to normal PlayStation plug. Basically, all you have to do is have some way of connecting a micro USB to a mini USB. You have to have micro to mini USB, and you have to have some sort of configuration that does that. I just realized I stopped in here, so I'm not going to beat the time in the slightest. Well, maybe I actually did. It said like 15 minutes or something. Let's see. Or maybe it means I have to beat the whole game in 15 minutes? I don't understand time attack, but that's just something you can do with this. I like this feature because it puts even more value into this freaking $40 tablet. And the more games I find that can use the controller, the more I'm going to end up using this thing. And again, this is so much better than the $50 Prontotech Android tablets, because the resolution's crap on them. They're not that fast. They don't keep up with the Android software that they put on them. And this, it just works. It's sort of like halfway in between Prontotech and Apple. It's like, it's proprietary and quality, but it's also cheap and decent. It's like in the middle of the road and a really amazing price. I would totally recommend these, and if you have the wires and a PS3 controller, try this. It's cool, especially since you can get Sonic CD for free, and yeah, it's worth it. See you guys next time. Good news, it saved the last level I was playing, so I don't have to start all over in Sonic CD since I died. That is cool. I still have not played Sonic 3 on my Genesis. I've only played it on the PS2, like, Collector Plus Mega Pack or whatever. So I am still looking for Sonic 3, and I believe the save files for Sonic 3 probably double the game's playability for me. I really don't like the old live system where you don't have unlimited continues and you can't save. I really don't like it when games do that, but I understand back then it was also because of money, and they were sort of adapting over from the arcade standard and blah blah blah. Okay, that was a rant for another day. See you guys later.